Welcome back, everybody, and today we're going to make Hobbes from Calvin and Hobbes cartoon show when we were younger. So what we're going to need is a 4.5 millimeter hook. We're going to need black, and we're going to need orange, and we're going to need white, as well as your scissors, your stuffing, your stitch markers, your sewing needle, and felt. This is only used for the stripes on the top of the head as well as his eyes. So let's get started. The pattern is also worked in rounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch and chain one at the end of it. So we're going to start with a magic circle. So we're going to wrap your finger string around here. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to take your hook. We're going to slip it through, pull the string through, and we're going to pull that tight. And then when you're done that, the round one is you're going to single crochet 6 into the magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what you're going to want to do is fix your string. You're going to want to take your stitch markers and what I usually do is I usually put one in the front from a different color. So I usually use that one, and I usually put one on my last stitch. And then you're going to pull this tight. So what you're going to want to do is pull this little string. Pull that tight, just like that. As much as you can. So it closes that hole. And then for round 2 in a second, you want to slip stitch and chain one into this first stitch. It's tricky. There we go. So we're going to pull that through. We're going to slip stitch into there. And we're going to chain one. And now what we're going to do is we're going to increase into every stitch. So you'll end up with 12 at the end. And what I usually do is this string right here is I usually crochet that into it. So what I do is I'll take this off and I'll do first stitch, and I'll take my little string and I'll wrap it around my hook, and then I'll pull it through. So there's the first one. So increase, you want 2 single crochets into each stitch. 2. And do that all the way around. So we're going to go like that. and in the last stitch. Slip stitch again. Chain one, which now this is far enough in, we can cut that right off. Just like that. So now for round 3, we're going to single crochet into the first stitch, and then we're going to increase into the second one, and we're going to do that all the way around until you have 18 stitches. So we're going to single crochet into the first stitch like that. And we're going to mark that stitch. And then you're going to put 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So we're going to go increase in this stitch. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet, if you can see, into the next stitch. So you're going to put 1 into here, and then we're going to put 2 in the next one. So 1 single crochet and an increase, and then a 1 single crochet and an increase. One single crochet and an increase, and then 1 single crochet and an increase, and same with the last 2. So you want to 1 single crochet and an increase in your last stitch, and you should end up with 18 stitches. So you want to increase in this one. Mark your last stitch so you don't get them mixed up with that slip stitch, because it likes to pretend it's a fake stitch sometimes. So we mark that one, and then we slip stitch into the first one. Slip stitch and chain 1, and that's round 3. And then for round 4, we're going to do 2 single. We're going to single crochet. We're going to single crochet, and then we're going to increase, and we're going to do that all the way around for a total of 24 stitches. So we're going to single crochet, single crochet in the next one, and then we're going to increase into the third stitch, and then we're going to single crochet, single crochet in the next one, and then you're going to increase again. Just like that all the way around. And you're going to do that, single crochet, single crochet, and an increase. Single crochet, and there we crochet, and then an increase. And I want a single crochet. I'm just going to keep doing that all the way around to the end. Single crochet, single crochet, and an increase at the end. 1, 2, and you should have a total of 24 stitches. And then you slip stitch to the beginning row, pull that through, and you're going to chain 1. Okay, so round 5. And it's easy not to lose track. You just go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you count little rows. As you can tell, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So round 5 is 3 single crochet, and it's just going to keep adding up every row. So 3 single crochet and increase, and you should have 30 stitches at the end. What I like to do sometimes is I'll mark my first stitch, and I'll mark the second one just so it has more of a sturdiness. So, and then with everything else, I like to count my stitches so I don't have to keep counting them. I'll go 1, 2, 3, increase. So I'll put a stitch marker in there, and I'll do that all the way around, and I'll pull them out when I go through. So 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. And I'll just leave them hanging there. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. I sometimes do them a different color so I don't get the 2 at the beginning mixed up. But it's sometimes easy to tell. So 1, 2, and then you just put your hook back in, pull it through, make sure it's tight. So 1, 2, 3. And now I got the stitch marker there. So I know that's my increase stitch. So I'll pull that one out. And I'll increase in that stitch. And I'll just keep going along. So yeah, you should have 3 single crochets and then an increase stitch in this round for a total of 30 stitches. And increase. And then single crochets. Now, I'll pull out this stitch. I'm going to increase. And I'm going to single crochet. Single crochet. And then single crochet in that stitch. Then you increase stitch. follow through. 1, 2, 3, and then you increase, pull that one out. So you single crochet 2 in this one, and then you just keep going to the end. 1, 2, 3, and then you got to increase in that final stitch. So you go 1, 2 in the same stitch. Mark that stitch, and you're going to slip stitch in the beginning one again. And then, here we go. Chain 1. And then for round 6, you're going to have 4 single crochets and an increase. And at the end of that round, you should have 36 stitches. So what I'm going to do, is 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. Should have 6 increased stitches altogether. Increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase stitch. And then, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And all you got to do is count those little V's at the top, and those are your stitches. Let's see, they form little V's at the top. So what you want to do is you want to count them V's right there. All right. Let's continue. Okay. Sorry, go. Round 6. So we're going to pull that back in there. So you want 4 single crochets and then increase for a total of 36 stitches. So here's the first one. So 1, and stitch mark that one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And pull this out. And you don't have to put the other stitch markers in. I just find that easier for me for when I do it. You go increase into that 5th stitch, and then you're gonna count as 1, 2, 3, 4, increase again. So you're gonna put 2 in that stitch, and then do it all the way to the end. Just like so. And pull that one. I've got an increase in that one. And then 2, 3, 4, another increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, and almost at the end you want to increase in that last stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and in the last stitch you want to put 2 single crochets in your last stitch. Mark the end of your row, and then you slip stitch and chain 1, just like slip stitch and chain 1. So round 7 you want 5 single crochets and then your increase, and you should have 42 stitches at the end of that round 7. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna mark my stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. There. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. Just keep doing that. Increase, and then increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. Alright, so at the end of this row you should have 42 stitches. Let's see. Okay. So again, single crochet the first stitch, mark that first stitch of yours, and then we're gonna have 5 single crochet and an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase. So you got 2 in that stitch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're at the increase stitch again. To an increase. Now when you increase, you're single crocheting 2 in the same stitch. 4, 5, Now you're increasing. So you got 2 in that one stitch. And then we're gonna start over again. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, and then 5. And then you're going to want to increase again. So you got 2 single crochet in the same stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to increase. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to increase in that last stitch. So you should have 42 stitches at the end of this row. Mark your last stitch. And then you're going to slip stitch and chain 1. Okay. Now round 8, you want to do the same thing. You want 6 single crochets and then your increase. And then you're going to keep going. So I'm going to do my little thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then your increase stitch. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And your increase stitch. And then 1, 2. So your seventh stitch should be your increase stitch. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then your increase. So you can keep doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then your increase stitch. And just to make sure you have the right stitches, I usually just finish right off to the end to make sure it all adds up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the increase stitch in the last stitch. So now we're going to do round 8. So do your first stitch and then mark that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then an increase stitch. So you want 2 single crochet in that same stitch.
seemed somewhat suspicious.
Get your increase.
There was a large piece of silk cloth that had been fashioned into what appeared to be a hook.
1,
A couple of strips of packing tape were on the ground.
2,
A
3,
pair of young girl's tights had been tied into a knot.
4,
Hair was entangled in the knot.
5,
Other debris surrounded the area.
6,
Then Nina recalled the knot
and then your increase.
on the property not far from where they stood. It was nearly
So 2 single crochet in the same spot,
It all started when Nina's babysitter, Shannon Lynch, had left Nina's house
and
and
then
making her way back down the
1,
drive. A man walking down the middle of the private drive. He stranded fingerprints
2,
to the side. He said that he was stuck and insisted that she get out of her
3,
car. He also
4,
wanted to know what was up the drive. But Shannon immediately sensed something
5,
wasn't right. She later described him as looking like a wild man.
6,
She drove on.
and then you want to increase in your next stitch.
Shannon found a payphone about 2 miles down the road and hurried to call her friend. She was anxious to get a hold of Dan and warned her of the scary men trespassing on her land.
1, 2. And you're going to do that right to the end.
She grabbed her daughter and a baseball bat and took off down the hill. She saw the car, like Shannon had said, but the strange man was nowhere in sight. She continued down into town to call the police. A few minutes after midnight, 2 Sonoma County Sheriff's deputies showed up. Dana explained that she didn't really want the intruder arrested for trespassing. She just wanted him off the property. The deputies found the trespasser a little agitated. There was alcohol on his breath, and he was sweating profusely. There were bits of meat and blood
3,
that had been rolling around on the ground.
4,
He told them that he'd been out sightseeing and realized that he was on private property. When he tried to turn around, he got his car stuck on the side of the drive.
6. And get increase in your last stitch.
But the deputies didn't believe him. The way his car was trapped, there wasn't enough room for a person to get underneath. The deputies administered some roadside sobriety tests.
Mark that one. You should have 42 stitches. No, 48 stitches, sorry.
Looking in his car, they found some cans of beer.
I'm going to slip stitch into that one.
When they asked him if he'd been drinking, he actually opened the beer and began to drink it.
And now for round 9, all you're going to do is single crochet into every stitch around to the end. And you should have 48 stitches left.
He became extremely upset. Making him comply, the deputies told him they would be within their rights of running in on trespassing. After he heard this, he calmed down considerably. They searched him carefully and continued to question him, but could find nothing incriminating. The items discovered near the 50-year road were immediately flown to forensic specialist Chris Allen in Washington.
Okay, once you get to the end,
A strip of cloth was found in the wood.
you're going to slip stitch and then chain 1. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So we're going to do this. And then
Subsequently, on the second submission, we received a cloth that was found at the 50 road site. It's all put together like a puzzle, with the edges and the pieces of fabric matching up end to end.
okay.
More than likely, falling clouds became out-of-end gas connected to the fire. Without a doubt, Richard Allen paid his retainer too.
There we go.
Well, it wasn't enough to arrest David's kid. The detective stuff. So it was just getting
Slip stitch.
together the evidence needed.
Now you'll start. Now you'll start on the black stripes at the back of the head. When you switch back and forth between the colors, you will have to fasten off. This is the only part of the pattern that this will happen for that. So I'm going to walk you through that as we go. So you want to grab your black yarn and get that started. And have that on. So now, rows 10 and 11, you want to do 16 single crochets in orange, and then you're going to finish off with 32 single crochets of black. So we're going to go like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now this is where I like to do this. Yeah, leave 2 stitches at the end. You're going to do half the crochet. So you have the 2 loops, what I usually do, instead of fastening off all the time, which I'll end up cutting the string in a sec, is I'll add the black, and I'll finish that single crochet off with the black loop. So that I'll hold that over, and I'll pull the orange one, make that tight, and you should have 32. So to start tighten that orange one just a little bit, you want to hold that down. So you should and then 1, 2, 3, and then I'll just double check to make sure there's 32. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And it will. So your face, when you do it, is going to start looking like that. So slip over. What I'm doing here is you got that. So I'll finish that off. And I'll cut that orange.
What I do, when people look at me, they think I'm an idiot. Why am I there? The way I look, the way I dress. You know what? I'm not there for a personality contest. Yeah, I'm well, that is. My name is Croydon, but all my friends call me Croydon. I've been a professional for about 10 years now.
Let's see.
I'm the shortest one, but I'm the last one, and I'm the funniest. And that's I'm considered by most to be probably the prettiest repo man in the San Fernando Valley.
There you go. So right to the end.
Natural at what I do, and I'm just having fun out there.
So you're going to do that for round 10 and 11. 16 single crochets in orange, and then 32 single crochets in black. Instead of cutting them all the time, I sometimes work it in. As you can see, I'm just carrying it over. But if it's easier for you, you can just cut it off and then add the orange back on at the end as well. So I'll just do this. And the black ones should be secure, so make it easier. Just snip that black one. And I'm just going to carry the orange over. I find it easier. But if you find it easier too, you can cut it off. We're just going to pull that through. I'm just going to work the black. Just like that. Okay. So on 32, when you end this row, that's tricky.
And he came right at my camera crew, and he actually smashed my camera crew guy and knocked him on the ground, which really kind of set me off real quick. And at that point, everybody's on their toes, ready to start fighting.
As soon as you get to the other side again, you're going to have the slip stitch and switch colors at the end of the row. I'll show you how to do that. 30, 31, and 32 is your last stitch. So I'm going to do this. So I'm going to single crochet in that one. 32 black stitches. So now you want to drop the black if you carried it over. And then you want to do your slip stitch in orange, so your top of your next stitch and your next row is going to be orange. If you continue in the black to do your slip stitch, then all your numbers will be added off. So you're going to slip stitch in here. You're going to have one orange loop and one black loop, but that's okay. So you're going to pull the slip stitch with your orange. And you're going to pull that through. You want to tighten that one with your black. And you're going to chain one with your orange string. So now, it'll look like that when you're done. And so you want to finish in your orange, and your last black would be right here in your last stitch. Now, you want to do that again for row 11, as you can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As long as you count the bumps, That's how many rows you got. So we're going to do 16 more orange. So we're going to single crochet in the first one.
This isn't the movie. You know what I mean? This is real life. Someone's coming at you with a gun or a knife, or a taser gun or a bat. Back off. What's the last one?
So it's 16 orange and 32 black for row 11 as well. Alright, let's keep going.
I'm like, dude, the book, we can't do that. We can't do that. But I didn't come back after this.
Obviously, you're going to get to know Max. Sometimes he makes up his own rules, which kind of pisses me off sometimes. But, you know, sometimes I just need things done right away. But along the way, he kind of does things he's supposed to be doing. This is not.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Change that a little bit. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. So you gotta pull up the orange, drop the orange, and you gotta switch to your black halfway through the 16 stitch. So 32 black stitches.
More irate and upset, and basically wasn't understanding the concept of hey, how to talk to you, that's it. That's it. Call the finance company, do what you have to do, but do not try to get up on my feet. They feel violated when I go to their property. They feel violated because I'm taking the car. They feel whatever. Because when you haven't taken the car for months, you kind of like expecting the inevitable, which is you coming onto your property.
So now you want 32 black stitches. So you have 32. So you should have 16 single crochet of orange and 32 single crochet of black for 2 rounds. And then you want to cut. And we're going to cut the black off here at the end. At the end of this row, we're going to cut the black off. And then we'll have 48 single crochet for round 12 of just the orange. And then we'll have to do this pattern again for the second stripe. We're just going to keep going. And I'll show you how to. I'm going to switch that off.
Got in the car one last time and I said, split, but take her and the car. What the hell, I can always use it girl at the house.
I think it's against the laws like that. You know, but, you know, I mean, she didn't say anything about how it's against the law. It's useless. You know, it's not like I have a camera on the goodness. So we cannot get involved in that kind of situation. We will get her out.
So keep going. Almost to the end. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches left of the black, and then I'll show you how to switch it over back to the orange.
And of course, Max was speaking to craft of his lesson plan. It doesn't help the situation. I'm trying to calm this chick down. She's all over the roof. I'm trying to pull her down. I don't want
So we're on the last stitch, so what we want to do.
and still I even have to sit on her and try to calm her down. And basically, Maddie over here, you know, yesterday. But sometimes when I'm there to do a job, which she is too, okay?
Okay, so the last stitch one and
Macho, putting in his own lines, trying to do whatever the hell he wants, and it just pisses me off. I can't sit and argue with that because I've got arguments with him. Sometimes you just go from the other.
last stitch of black. What we're going to do is the slip stitch is an orange. So you want to slip stitch in this one. Still keep your black there though. You want to drop this one. Drop your black, pull up your orange. And we're just going to secure this. So pull the slip stitch.
Oh my God, we ran over the shoe. Oh my God. Oh, real good, man. We ran over the
One sec.
If you can believe this, the girl was wearing 6-inch stiletto heels, which I thought that. But one of them fell on the ground, and boy, mistakenly ran over it, which caused us to have a flat tire. Like a shoe?
Matt was trying to act silly and doing things he's not supposed to, especially this division. I mean, there was a point where, you know, he had a little situation with stuff in the car and the shoe, and he was just getting with the shoe.
So there we go.
But me personally, I feel like grabbing the shoe and probably slapping him out with it. Yeah, so I'm like, because that makes the customer more irate. I have to drag on his ride. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous when a woman like me, as big as I am, trying to sit on the floor to calm her down.
Put a slip stitch in this one. I'm going to mark your last stitch. And so chain one. And then you can just get rid of that black for now. And then you round 12, you want to single crochet all the way around with orange. So
That's still running mouth off, you know? It's like,
all the way around.
okay?
So 48 oranges now.
One of the things I learned being married was the financial community was that you can never always, you can never
So just keep going.
That's why the funny was there. That's why Matt was there. All I wanted to do was take the car and pull the car and get out of it. The window was like all over the place. I don't know what I learned my lesson.
I can't feel bad because otherwise I don't
So
make. If I use every card and not going down, I'm never going to make any money. Then what I'm not doing is that's fine. It doesn't work that way. I'm not there to feel bad. I'm there to do a job. That's my job, and if they don't like it, I don't really care.
one more. So now I'm gonna cut that black string so I don't have to carry it all the way. There we go. Now I just work with my orange all the way through. Just like that. $14, $15, and then right that 16 mark, 16 stitch. And now we're just gonna keep going right over that black. I'm just gonna give it.
Well, here's the deal, guys. One of the presenting seven travels, the car's been operating for a year. They have to get things on it. Yeah. On the address. The guy's name is Tony Barrera, aka Joker.
Let's keep going.
Here's the problem, guys. This is why I don't like this kind of
And now 10, 11 for rounds 13, 14, and 15. You're going to do the same thing as you did for rounds 10, 11, and 12. And then once you hit that orange single crochet on round 15, you're going to want to do the other strip again, and then we'll get there. So let's see, this is round 12 we're working on now. I'm just going to go right through with the orange. All the way through. And it's going to start looking like this. And you're going to have that, break that up, and you're going to have that nice little black and white stripe at the back of his, like at Hobbes' head. So we're just going to keep going. That's just his first stripe. So we're going to keep going through. And then we're going to switch it again, because we got the black on the second row again. And then for the second stripe, I'm going to show you how to keep changing the colors and cut the colors off. So you carried it for the first stripe. The second stripe will switch it. So you can see how both ways are done. So there's round 12.
We get to the ranch.
There we go.
Sure enough, there's cars everywhere. What does that tell me? A lot of people there. A lot of people, a lot of guns.
Alright, end of the row, last stitch. Single crochet that orange. There we go. I'm gonna mark that stitch. I'm gonna slip stitch and chain 1. Just like that. And there. Should look like that. There's the back of his head with the first stripe. And then you got the front of his head. There you are. They're gonna go here. It just keeps. Okay.